Hello, and welcome to installment 3 of our Proficient Supply Chain Control Tower video series. Today, I'm joined by Kevin Roberto, who is a director in Proficient's automation group, and we're going to be talking about some automation use cases that can be applied by a supply chain control tower. So first, before we jump in, I just want to briefly summarize what is a control tower again. Control tower is essentially a dashboard that sits on top of 3 levels of data. First being our internal systems, such as our ERP, warehouse management systems, and our planning systems. Level 2 being systems of our stakeholders. And level 3 being news sources, such as social media and weather. So first off, Kevin, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Sean. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Kevin, can you talk briefly to some of the use cases that we see as being applicable to a supply chain control tower?
Sure, Sean. There's a number of scenarios where we see automation applied. Probably one of the most common is with reordering. Typically, an organization has an ERP system, but that ERP system is somewhat siloed. It can only look at inventory in one area. A hospital campus, for example, they have multiple supply chains. They have a supply chain for their medication and their pharmaceuticals. They have a supply chain for their PPE, and maybe they have a supply chain for their custodial and cleaning supplies for their facilities. And what we can do with Control Tower is a single pane of glass where we can bring all of that together and have one place where the organizations can see what is their inventory across all of those supply chains. And we can have triggers and events where we can set thresholds and automatically reach out to their suppliers to keep those inventory levels where they need to be in order for our customers to maintain their business and not have any sort of disruption. One of the other scenarios that we see frequently is with alerts or triggers based on weather events or news events that might adversely affect supply chains and potentially have a negative effect on disrupting those supply chains. So for example, if there's a major storm forecast for a distribution center, for example, we can have an alert that will be triggered so that an organization can be proactive to work ahead of that storm in order to mitigate any disruption.
So Kevin, that's amazing, the kind of insights that we can garner from this information from a supply chain management perspective. Now talk to us briefly about how we go about doing this and what technologies you use to automate some of these use cases.
Absolutely. So we like to call it intelligent automation, which is bringing process orchestration, artificial intelligence, and robotic process automation all together. Where those converge, that's what we like to call intelligent automation. So I can take my processes that are already existing, I can tie them together, and I can use my machine learning, my artificial intelligence. We mentioned looking at news feeds or weather. I can use machine learning and my natural language processing to analyze the sentiment of posts that I'm seeing online. I can read the tone and I can understand what our customers are really thinking about in terms of our products and our brands, and I can act upon that information. I can tie that information, once I have it, I can tie that into all of my data. So if we have a data lake, I can reach out into that data lake and I can pull together that single pane of glass so I can get a full view of all of my supply chain, my inventories, what my suppliers are sending me, when I need to get the information and get it to the right people at the right time, and use my data visualization to see all of that in one place.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the power of these technologies is really awe-inspiring when you think about how it can impact supply chain management and how it will take us to the next level. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining our Supply Chain Control Tower series. In our next video installment, we're going to be talking about what a journey towards Supply Chain Control Tower might look like. Thank you again for joining today. And Kevin, thank you for your expertise.
All right. Thank you, Sean.